Good morning. I am Nidhi Srivastava, Assistant Professor IT in IITM. Today in e-commerce, I am going to discuss the topic electronic data interchange. It is also called as EDI in short. Now, let's start with the definition. What is an EDI? EDI is a process used by an organization in order to transmit electronic document between the organization by the electronic means. It is used to transfer electronic document or business data from one computer to another computer system, that is from one trading partner to another trading partner without the human intervention. So, how the data flows in EDI? Data flows in between the two parties. First one is customer and second one is trading party. Okay, so sometimes we call the trading party as the merchant also. So customer first order for the required product. Trading party then give confirmation, delivery note, invoice and acknowledgement for the product status. At the end, customer pay for the product. Here we have shown the basic overview, but EDI is somewhat complex. EDI is used by the organization for transactions that occur on regular basis to a predefined format. Organizations that send and receive documents between each other are referred to as trading partners in EDI terminology. The trading partners agreed on specific information to be transmitted and how it should be used. EDI is also known as paperless trading. EDI is basically the transfer of structured data by agreed message standard from one computer system to another by electronic means. So, further, I am going to tell you about the elements of EDI. EDI has four elements. First one is structured data, agreed message standard from one computer system to another, and the last is electronic means. Structured data are the data which we are going to transform from one place to another. Agreed message standard. EDI transactions have standard formats. These standards is not just agreed between the trading parties, but a general standard agreed at national and international levels. From one computer to another, EDI message sent is between two computer application. There is no requirement of people to read the message or rekey it into the computer system. By electronic means, usually this data communicated with the physical transfer of magnetic tapes, floppy disk would be within the definition of EDI. So this is how we studied the basic about the EDI. Let's move further for the main features of EDI. EDI used for structure formatted message that are based on agreed standard. EDI required to set up an interface between the company computers and EDI send and receive the documents then. EDI provide a relatively fast delivery of electronic document from sender to receiver. Also, EDI provide direct communication between the application rather than between the computers. EDI include data management and networking capabilities, data processing, the efficient capture of data into electronic form, processing and retention of data, control to it, and efficient and reliable data transmitted between the remote sites. So these are the main features of EDI. Let's move further for some specific benefits of EDI. EDI have lots of benefit and some of them are listed here. The first benefit is EDI reduce the paperwork. Even when paper documents are maintained in parallel with EDI exchange, that is printed shipping manifest, electronic exchange and use of data from that exchange reduce the handling of cost of sorting, distributing, organizing and searching of paper documents. Cost cutting. The use of EDI can cut the cost. These include the cost of stationery posted, but this will probably be fully matched by cost of running the EDI services. EDI and similar technology allow a company to take advantage of benefit of storing and manipulating data electronically without the cost of manual entries. It also helps us in reducing the errors. How? And another advantage of EDI is reduced errors such as shipping and billing errors because EDI eliminates the need of rekey documents on destination side. Keying is an information into the computer system is a source of error and keying paper order into order processing system is no exception. EDI eliminates this source of errors. On the downside, there is no order entry clerk who might have spotted error made by the customer to customer will get what the customer asked for. Next is faster response. With paper order, it would be several days before the customer was informed of any supply difficulty, such as produces out of the stock. With EDI, the customer can be informed straightway, giving time for an alternative product to be ordered or an alternative supplier to be used. Next is improved funds transmission. Due to this increased efficiency of non-paper account, cash flow will improve and electric fund transmission is able to be much earlier than previously. Improved shipping services. Shipping is also improved as EDI provides quick and efficient information at as it relies on barcode information to communicate. EDI payments. Payments can also be made by EDI. The EDI payment system can also be generated an EDI payment advice that can be electrically matched against the relevant invoice. Again, avoiding queries and delays. So, these are some of the benefits of using an EDI. And with the help of these benefits, we can help our organization to increase the efficiency and the profit. Let's move further and discuss the EDI system. Here you can see in this picture there are some of the elements being displayed. First is your application data. This application data is holding all the data which an application gives to our system. That data is being translated with the help of EDI translators, and that translated data given to the gateways, and with the help of those gateways our trading partner get the data. This is how your EDI system works. There are few components of EDI through which trading partner and business application communicates, and these components of EDI are application service, translation service, communication service. Now let's see one by one how these components are helping us in doing the process of EDI. First one is our application service. It provides the link between application and EDI. It allows you to send document from an EDI system. The set is callable routine is used to transfer document from the business application into EDI document destination and can be either intra-company or to the external companies. So we can see here in this diagram, application servers are working with the help of some callable routines and file servers. And with the help of these things, our documents are being transferred. Next service is our translating service. In the translating service, we are dealing with convert of the outgoing document from an internal format file to an agreed external format. Translate internal document from external format to EDI internal format file. Now we can see here there are some internal formats. With the help of file servers, internal formats are translated into the external formats and then the transmission process follows. Third is our communication service. In the communication service, this service sends and receives the transmission file to and from the trading partners, either directly or by using the party service called a value added network, or we sometimes call it as WAN. So here in this diagram we can see here how the transmission process take place. With the help of some gateways and file servers, the transmission take place, and while the transmission take place, the files are transmitted from one system to another system. Now let's move further. EDI have some specific softwares. First one is your translators and second one is application link software. Now let's see what the translator is used to do. Every EDS sender and receiver should have a EDS translator. It varies based on computer on which it is going to reside. The computer may be a microcomputer or a mid-range or a mainframe. Translator reads the fixed length file and generate valid EDS standard and maintain control information. Now the next software is my application link software, which is going to be used in EDI. Application link software is used to collect the information from business applications and then it format into fixed length computer file and pass it into the translators. These are the softwares being used in EDI. Let's move further. Further, we are going to discuss about the types of EDI standards. There are broadly two types of standards. First one is proprietary standard and second one is public standard. Now let's discuss one by one. EDI standard developed for a specific company or a industry. This is called as non-public or private standard. And whenever we discuss about the public standard, these are the standards which were developed for the use of across one or more industries. So, public standards being used by many industries and proprietary standards are being used by the specific industry who developed the standard for themselves only. Let's move further. Now the next is your edifex. Now the question arises, what are the edifex? Edifex are the electronic data interchange for administration, commerce and transport is the international set of EDI standards. They became a UN standard in 1987. Maintain and further development is the responsibility of UN Center for Trade Facilitation and Electronic Business. They include syntax, rules, implementation guidelines, message design guidelines, data elements, code sets, and other definitions. They broadly use for B2B model of the e-commerce. B2B means business to business rather than for business to customer. Allow multi countries and multi industries to exchange the data. Now this is all about your edifect. After knowing about the edifects, let's move further and see what are the main pillars of the edifects. There are four major pillars of the edifects. The first pillar is syntax, as we can see in this diagram. Next pillar is data element, then is your segments, last pillar is your message. Let's see one by one what these pillars are holding. Syntax, rules for definition of a message structure. So syntax is holding all the rules for the message structure. Next pillar is data element. It is the smallest unit. It includes codes and values for items such as date, address code, and so on. Next is your segments. Segments are group of related data elements. And the last pillar is messages. Order sequence of segments define a business transaction. So these are the major four pillars of an edifice. Let's move further for the structure of edifice chart. Now you can see here all the pillars being used in this structure chart. Here we can see the smallest unit is our data element. When the similar type of data elements are combined together, they form a data segment. All data segments are having header and tailor so that we come to know which segment is going after which segment. After the data element segments were formed, they combine together and form a message, and finally the exchange process of the data occurs. This is how your edifice structure works. Let's move further. Now we will, after studying the structure of the edifice, we will study about the different layers of EDI. When we talk about the different layers of EDI, we talk about We talk about semantic layer, standard layer, transport layer, and physical layer. Now let's learn one by one how these layers are working. When we talk about EDI semantic layer, semantic layer describe the business application. Procurement examples, request for quote, price quote, purchase order, acknowledgement, invoice, and also specific to the company and software use. So these all things are coming under the semantic layer. When we talk about EDI standard layer, it specifies business from standard so that information can be exchanged. It also influences the content at application layer. The most competing standards are American National Standard Institute. We sometimes call it as ANSI X.12. EDIFACT developed by UNECE Working Party for the Facilitation of International Standard Procedures. Next standard layer is my EDI transport layer. In the EDI transport layer, we take care how the message transfer from one place to another. It corresponds with non-electronic activity by sending business from one company to another, and also include the protocols like file transfer protocol, hypertext transfer protocol, and so on. It can send via postal services, registered certificate emails, and email, etc. Generally, EDI transport layer choose email as a carrier service. Last layer is my physical layer. It describes physical devices which are involved in transaction, dial-ups, internet, value-added networks, and so on. So with the help of these networks, we are able to exchange the data physically from one device to another device. That's why we need dial-ups, internets, and so on. Now, after discussing the EDI layers, I want to tell you something in brief how EDI is working in India. In India, EDI is working with the organization who is handling all the EDI processes. That chairman is Secretary Department of Commerce, whereas Secretariat are ECEDI Division Department of Commerce, Udyog Bhavan, New Delhi. That's all for your EDI, Edifax, and its applications architectures. Hope you understand the concept of what is an EDI and how it is working. Thank you so much, class.